Any one of it. Hello everybody. Welcome to this week of Wednesday Night Dash presented by Stadium Scene TV. Today we have the South Florida 75 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. My name is Hunter Hughes. Let's get right into it. First, let's go ahead and take a look at Homestead, the track stats for tonight. We are in Homestead, Florida. The racetrack opened in 1995. The length is 1.5 miles, 18 to 20 degrees in the turns, and 3 degrees in the straights. Tonight's session rules, we have a 10-minute practice, 5-minute or 2-lap closed qualifying, 75 laps, with a competition caution at lap 35. Now, after our break from last week, we have some interesting points getting into here. The lead that Tyler Vickery has is he's only up by 8 points. Colton Gardner sitting there in second at 150. So in these final 2 races, the battle for the championship is going to be more exciting than ever. And then we got Brian McKinney sitting in third with 83. Then Dalton Wicker coming on strong with 76 points. Then we have Kian McAravey with 71. Caden McAravey with 63. Eric Richardson with 55. Ian Miller with 42. Andrew Hewitt with 33. Jesse Fox with 30. Justin Neves with 25. DJ Fluck with 24. Scott McHarris with 15, Mark Vickers with 10, and closing it all out, Eric Blum with 2 points. Now it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, with Dalton Wicker missing that race 2 weeks ago, I think he's kind of out of contention for the championship title, but there's definitely a battle going on for P3 in the standings. So you want to look out for P1 and P2, and then P3 and P4. And honestly, Kian McAravey, if he's not here tonight, but Kian McAravey might make a legit shot for that title as well, or no, for that third place, that final podium spot as well. Right now, they're all in our. They are in their qualifying. So let's see who's out on the track right now. DJ Fluck is out there on the track. Let's get a see what he's running. He's running the Scene Media Group number 88 as he usually does. Beautiful looking paint scheme, by the way. I love that black with the blue accents. I really like that blue as a color. It kind of matches the blue of Homestead, if I'm going to be honest. Oh, as DJ Fluck gets actually a little loose coming to his green flag lap. Take a look and see. Colton Garner's on a hot lap right now, currently sitting on the pole. Colton Garner's got his very classic paint scheme. Let's go see what he can do while there's still 3 minutes left of qualifying. Using that top lane. I think today we're going to see the top lane being utilized more than the bottom lane. Homestead is one of those racetracks that being inches from the wall is actually better for you in the long run rather than going down by the white line. Now you can see that Colton Garner was hugging that white line, but I think for the long run, you're going to want to be on that wall. So far, Colton Garner and Andrew Hewitt are the only two cars to have set a time. Let's see what Andrew Hewitt's doing. Tyler Vickery goes ahead and sets the quickest lap. As he gets through his first sector through his second lap, looks like he's improving on his time. Let's see if he can set an even faster lap. .076 for Tyler Vickery. Not bad at all. Definitely a heater. Now, Dalton Wicker still is one of those drivers that still needs to hit the track. He hasn't hit the track yet. It's like he's going to be done. Brian McKinney looks like he's going for his second fast lap. If he can improve on his previous lap time. It didn't look like it. Oh, maybe he's coming to lap this time. Let's see. And right up next to that wall. And Dalton Wicker's actually on track now in a beautiful bright blue and pink and black paint scheme. He's going to be starting his flying lap. Looks like he might only be able to get one lap in. Oh, he'll set. Yeah, looks like he's going to be able to get one flying lap in. No, actually he didn't. So Dalton Wicker waited too late to get going. So your running order, your starting order for tonight is Tyler Vickery on pole, Colton Garner in P2, Brian McKinney in P3, DJ Fluck P4, Andrew Hewitt P5, Dalton Wicker P6, Eric Richardson P7. Yeah, and Eric Richardson P7 closing it out for tonight. Only have 7 drivers registered tonight, so it should be pretty low key, but you never know. You never know how interesting it could be. 75 laps here tonight. As we're waiting for Brian McKinney and Eric Richardson to grid on up. There they are. Let's see who's in here. The DJ, it's Hunter in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. Good evening.
Well, it looks like you're going to have a pretty fun night rolling off P4 tonight. I was watching you in practice and qualifying. You're only a couple tenths off of our leaders. Are you pretty confident tonight?
I was feeling confident until I ate it coming out of 4 on my first lap, but practice has been going well at a good finish last week. Hoping to keep up the good streak.
Definitely. All right, well, you have a good race and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Definitely keep your eyes out for DJ Fluck tonight. P4 might be his highest qualifying position. Not 100% sure, but I think it is. So definitely going to see some speed out of him tonight, which I am so excited to see as the pace car is about to dive away. They're under the control of Tyler Vickery. They get to the Geico restart zone. A green flag is out here at Homestead. Tyler Vickery and Colton Gardner are side by side still as they go into turn 1. Tyler Vickery is able to get clear as Brian McKinney is looking to get past Mr. Colton Gardner. Apologize for the camera views tonight. The basic iRacing camera views for Homestead are not that good. Oh, as we see Andrew Hughes go for a bit of a spin, but he's able to see it. Save it. It looks like, but it's going to put him off the pace quite a bit. But he's able to recover strongly. Looking up front, Colton Gardner's taking a peek to the inside of Tyler Vickery. Colton Gardner's going to go all the way low. And Colton Gardner is going to get clear, but Tyler Vickery's going to have a massive run as they go down the front stretch. As they go through turn 1, everybody's single file, just kind of hanging it out there right now. Let's take a look from our blimp cam to just see the kind of gap that's already formed between these drivers. You see Colton Gardner up front in P1, then you got Tyler Vickery in P2, Brian McKinney in P3, Dalton Wickerson in P4, DJ Fluck in P5, Eric Richardson in P6, and Andrew Hewitt in P7. He looks like he's having a heck of a time with his race car right now. But this battle for first, second, third, and fourth, everybody's getting a piece of the pie as Dalton Wicker's looking to make a move underneath the 8 of Brian McKinney. He dives to the inside, going to go all the way to that white line as low as he can possibly go. And he's going to get clear of the 8, and he's actually going to be looking to be a threat for the lead. As we see Tyler Vickery looking to the inside of Colton Gardner now. Tyler Vickery going low, but he's not going as low as he possibly can. And you know who is the 51 of Dalton Wicker, going even lower than Tyler Vickery. And now Dalton Wicker is a serious threat. Dalton Wicker looks like he might try and make it 3 wide for this lead. Or he might just chill out and let these two battle. Dalton Wicker going to definitely be an upset in this playoff standings if he can steal one or maybe two positions from these top two of Colton Gardner and Tyler Vickery. It's going to be very interesting as these as this season comes to a close. Oh, and Dalton Wicker gets snapped loose, is able to save it. But that's going to allow Brian McKinney to get back around him. Not sure what happened there. Looks like he... Let's quickly take a peek back at that. Maybe not. This battle looks super intense, but it looked like Dalton Wicker was just driving it in super deep, and then his car snapped loose on them. Luckily, he was able to catch it, and he didn't smack the wall, but... Dalton Wicker licks the wall there. He's having kind of a heck of a time with this. He's trying to find that limit of where he can be. That gap's closing once again. Dalton Wicker looks to the inside of Brian McKinney. It's obvious Dalton has collected himself, and now he's setting his sights on the two leaders. Dalton is the only one that I see right now going all the way to the white line in the turns. Most people are taking that second, third, or even fourth lane, but Dalton's going all the way to the white line when he goes to make a pass. And it's definitely interesting. But looking up front, Tyler Vickery on the back bumper of the 40 of Colton Gardner. Not sure how aggressive Tyler wants to be, but if Colton Gardner wins this race, he's going to vault himself forward and take over the lead of the championship standings. With just 2 races left to go, Homestead tonight and Phoenix next week, every position matters, every lap matters to these two drivers up front right here. We're already 10 laps down. This race is moving by pretty quickly, actually. Remember, the competition caution is at lap 35. We still got a good bit of laps. Take a look at what... Oh, Tyler's getting loose. Can he save it? He's able to save it. What a save by Tyler Vickery. Maybe just got in it too hot. But that's going to move Dalton Wicker up to P2 and Tyler Vickery back down to P4. Dalton Wicker actually seems to be making some noise and knocking on the back door of Colton Gardner. We're just going to have to see here. Look at how high Dalton Wicker is getting to that wall. That's exactly what I was talking about in the pre-race. You want to get as close to the wall as possible here at Homestead. But then Dalton's going to dive all the way low. He's going to get to the inside of Colton Gardner. Is he going to be able to make it stick? It doesn't look like it right now, but Dalton is definitely looking for the lead. He doesn't want to stop. Here he goes down to the inside again, all the way to the white line. He's going to be side by side. He's going to have the advantage. Is Colton Gardner going to give it up? As they're side by side now. It's a drag race as they enter turn 3. Dalton Wicker sends it deep into turn 3. Gets a little loose. He's able to correct it. That's going to give the run back to Colton Gardner, but it looks like Dalton Wicker is going to be comfortably in the lead by a couple seconds, or by a couple tenths. And now they're back to the top. Staying to the high line real quick, maybe for a couple laps. Let's take you onto a Turn It Up presented by Stadium Scene TV. Oh, as Dalton Wicker actually gets into the wall just a hair there. And that's going to allow Tyler Vickery to close right back up to the back bumper. You can see during our Turn It Up segment, you could just see how close these drivers were getting to that wall. And we had a quite bit of an interesting battle between Colton Garner and the 51 of Dalton Wicker. Dalton Wicker is going to hang it way, way wide again. It's going to get a good run down the front stretch as they cross the line for 59 laps to go. Dalton Wicker going all the way to the top. Let's actually ride inside of his car here. Just see how close he's getting to the wall. You can see it. He wants to put himself and get that clean air. There you go. He's going to try and dive underneath of Colton Garner. Let's switch to Colton Garner's cam real quick. Actually, let's go to Tyler Vickery's cam so we can see what Tyler Vickery sees. And he can see this battle firsthand. Colton Garner blinks out just a bit as Dalton dives it in low. And it looks like Dalton Wicker is going to get clear of Colton Garner. Colton Garner starting to blink actually kind of a lot. But just watching these three drivers handle the tricky racetrack that is Homestead Speedway is truly amazing. All of our drivers seem to be running in a line. And Dalton Wicker doing what he's best at, running all the way up top. Watch as he enters. Gonna try and run up the track just a bit and get in there just so he's mere inches from that outside wall. Don't look now, but look who's joined the fight. Brian McKinney has closed that gap once again, and now he's only about a half a second from these top three. These top four have a 7-second breakaway to Eric Richardson sitting in P5. As the battle between these two continue, Tyler Vickery looking to make a move on the 40 of Colton Garner. But if Dalton Wicker manages to steal a win tonight from these two drivers, that's going to be a major upset in the points. Tyler Vickery looking to the inside of Colton. Colton's going to wash up really wide. Doesn't touch the wall. And they're going to be drag racing down the front stretch as Tyler Vickery falls back into line. Oh, it looks like there was a bit of a mistake from the 51 of Dalton Wicker. His car is all over the place right now. He looks super loose as Colton Garner gets clear of him. And now the 24 of Tyler Vickery is going to get clear of him. But now that's going to open up the door for the 24 onto the 40. And now the 24 and the 40 are going to be side by side as the 51 sneaks back through. Not sure what happened to Dalton Wicker there, but he got super loose and he lost a whole bunch of time. Oh, Dalton Wicker loose once again. And he hits the inside wall. It actually looks like his wheel might have disconnected. Not sure what happened there. Let's go and take a look at that again. If you saw, his wheel just turned hard to the left. Almost like his wheel disconnected. Let's see if I can get a look real quick. This is a little... Let's take a look and see what happens to his wheel there. Oh, yeah, his wheel disconnected. You see his arms just like spun around like that. That's unfortunate for the 51 of Dalton Wicker. Had such a strong run tonight. Was going to be a contender for the win, but that's 2 weeks in a row now that he has had something go wrong with either his internet or his sim gear. Remember 2 weeks ago at yeah, 2 weeks ago at Nashville, he didn't even start the race. He was the quickest in practice and set the pole in qualifying, but did not start the race. Had some sort of issue there, and now this week had his wheel disconnect or his internet shut off or something like that. Another bad heartbreak for the 51 of Dalton Wicker. Now that gap is about a second. Colton Garner sitting in the lead. It's about a second to Tyler Vickery in P2, and then about another second back to Brian McKinney in P3. These drivers are probably just going to chill out now for the remainder of this race as it's lap 28. So they've only got about 7 or 8 more laps until the competition yellow, in which they will re-rack them again and will do it all again. Colton Garner doing a really good job. Might get the hat trick tonight. Looks like he might lead the most laps. So far, he's led the most laps in this first half. And if he manages to win, or manages to be leading at the stage break, then he'll get that point. And then if he wins the race overall, obviously there's still a whole lot of racing left, so I can't put my money anywhere right now. But Colton Garner making a really strong run tonight. And definitely what he needs, considering the fact that the points battle is so tight right now. As we look, Colton Garner only 8 points behind Tyler Vickery. A win tonight would boost him to at least plus like plus 15, plus 20 maybe. Somewhere in there. And Brian McKinney actually running third right now will definitely solidify his podium spot. And with Dalton Wicker having another heartbreak of a race, might fall back or might hang it out. He might stay in fourth, but Eric Richardson, if he has a good run tonight, he might be able to contend for that fourth place spot because both Kean and Caden McAravey have not started a race in, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks. I don't really remember when's the last we saw the 41 and the 3, but They are both holding 71 and 63, pretty much uncontested. Well, actually, not defended, because they're not defending those points at all. So if Eric Richardson puts together a couple good more races, he definitely can be in the fight for that 4th place spot as well. Looking back on the track, it's lap 32, so we've got about 3 laps until our competition yellow, in which case everybody will come down pit road, and then we'll have a restart. And I've said it once before. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Pit road in this Wednesday Night Dash League makes everything interesting. I can count the amount of times we've had major flip-flops of the running order on pit road. Right, one more lap here for Colton Gardner, but Tyler Vickery is actually closing that gap by a good bit. These two are on an absolute island by themselves. About 3 seconds back to Brian McKinney and 13 seconds back to Eric Richardson. All right, as he comes through start finish line, the competition caution will come out at lap 35. We're going to get these drivers an opportunity to catch up to the pace car, which will be rolling on track here shortly. Alrighty, let's take a view from our helicopter cam as these drivers all check up to get to the pace car. Not sure if we have any good views of pit road. I don't think we have any like really good views of pit road. So we're just going to use the helicopter as the last of our drivers are catching up to the pace car. Colton pulls them down pit road. As they enter, Colton, Tyler, Brian, Eric, and Andrew, and DJ Fluck. Let's see if there's something that can happen as they pull into their pit boxes. Tyler Vickery trying to be cheeky, and he's going to be side by side as they enter their pit boxes at about the exact same time. Who's going to get off pit road first? Oh, Brian McKinney gets out, and Colton Gardner has kind of a bad pit stop, and Colton Gardner's going to fall to third. As we see Andrew Hewitt roll out 5th and DJ Fluck roll out 6th. But that's interesting. Colton Gardner must have gotten a bad launch, but he rolls out of his pit box in the 3rd. Good for Tyler Vickery. Didn't even have to peel out. He just had to drive straight, and he was able to solidify that top spot. And Brian McKinney having a really good really good pit stop to jump Colton Garner. As they come to, they line up 2 by 2. Brian McKinney is going to be second, and Tyler Vickery is going to be third. So it's going to be interesting. Can Brian McKinney have the speed to battle with Tyler and be able to take over the top spot? I think Brian McKinney definitely has the speed for that top spot. Real quick, I'm going to be back in one small second. Alrighty, I'm back. As they are about to enter turn 3, this restart's going to be very, very interesting. We might take a look at it from the blimp cam because I want to see who's got the run and who can go where. As the pace car is getting ready to peel away, they're under the control of Tyler Vickery. Tyler's off. Brian McKinney and Colton Gardner get kind of a lazy start there. So Tyler Vickery is going to sail to the lead. Brian McKinney and Colton still side by side though. Colton's going to have that top line advantage. He's going to roll through. Colton Gardner is going to sit right back in line. But it looks like Tyler Vickery is really set in sail. Colton Gardner, though, looking to make a move for that second place spot. Every point here is crucial. Colton Gardner wants to get back up to fighting for the lead as quickly as possible, but Colton Gardner seems to actually be falling back by a good margin to the leader of Tyler Vickery. Checking out back real quick, our back three. Eric Richardson. Andrew Hewitt makes a interesting move to the inside of Eric Richardson. Is he going to be able to get clear of it? Andrew Hewitt going all the way down to that white line, excuse me. As they're still going to be side by side. Whoa! As Eric Richardson makes quite an interesting move there. Not sure what that was about. As Eric Richardson's car seems all over the place. Looked like his car just hooked a hard left. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe another wheel issue. I wonder if he tapped the wall or something. Oh yeah, he's stuck in the wall and he goes way low. But is able to keep it straight. Let's go back to present time right now. Eric Richardson still holding on to P6. But Tyler Vickery has set sail. Now almost 2.5 seconds to second place, Brian McKinney. Now, is this a strategy call from Colton Gardner and Brian McKinney? Do you think they're trying, these two drivers, do you think they are trying to save their tires for the end of this race and have a mad dash to the finish? And do you think Tyler Vickery is doing the complete opposite of that? Because we haven't seen a 2.5 second gap to the lead all race today. And it's been pretty even between Tyler Vickery, Brian McKinney, Colton Gardner, and Dalton Wicker when he was still out here. So do you think Tyler Vickery is just let the cat out of the bag and he's just going to push as hard as he possibly can for a handful of laps and then start to back off? Because now it's almost 3 seconds to the 2 of Brian McKinney. And if Brian McKinney and Colton Garner start battling each other, that gap to Tyler Vickery is just going to grow. And that's what Colton Garner cannot afford right now going into Phoenix next week is a third place finish. Colton Garner needs to finish either first or second. I don't think he can afford a third place finish if he wants to contend for the championship title. Everybody about evenly spread out now. The closest battle, the closest cars is Brian McKinney and Colton Garner. And is Colton Garner's blinking issues hurting him right now? Because Colton Garner is blinking more than any other driver on the racetrack right now. So is him blinking a whole lot really hurting his performance? The gap to the 8 of Brian McKinney is now only about 0.2. When is it going to be go time for these drivers? Colton Garner shoots to the inside of Brian McKinney. Brian McKinney is going to leave the door wide open as they're going to be side by side as they come down the front stretch. They just crossed the line for lap 50, so only about 26 laps to go here. This battle winding down really quickly. Everyone just kind of... Richardson's on... Oh, it looks like he got a nose in. Not sure what happened to him. Unfortunate day for Eric Richardson. Gonna kind of solidify that. Oh, Eric Richardson's in the broadcast booth. How you doing?
Hey, wish it was a better night, but figure come join, have some fun with you.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always appreciated. We're seeing an interesting battle unfold between the top three right now. Tyler Vickery has opened up to a almost 5-second lead, which we haven't seen that all night. So I don't know where Tyler Vickery found this random burst of speed in this second half.
Yeah, after that first run, he's looking real strong here in stint number 2.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for Dalton Wicker. Looks like he had a wheel disconnect or something like that because he was just driving straight and then he made a sharp left turn and then just nosed it into the to the inside pit wall, and and then he just like it just left. So unfortunate that Dalton Wicker has had 2 internet or wheel issues the previous 2 races.
Yeah, I saw he hit pit road, but I couldn't tell what had happened.
Yeah, and it did that classic thing of when your wheel disconnects, where your driver's arms just look like they break themselves, and your wheel just goes like 180 degrees to the left, and your wheels just turn straight left, and it's unfortunate. Sure. He definitely had speed to contend for a win tonight.
Yeah, it's too bad that happened. He's a great driver to race against.
But now we're seeing something interesting happening of Colton Gardner running third, which Colton Gardner was up leading. Colton Gardner actually led almost the entire first half of this, and now he's struggling to get past the number 8 of Brian McKinney, which is gonna be interesting for the points if the points shape out for with Colton finishing third. As we're seeing, Brian McKinney actually got into the wall just a little bit there, but it doesn't really seem to affect the gap between him and Colton Gardner.
That high line is definitely working, but you got to be careful, as these cars are like magnets, and if you get to that wall, sometimes they'll stick to it.
Yeah, I saw you had a little bit of an incident where you got glued to the backstretch wall and then you shot straight down the track and almost got into the back of Andrew Hewitt.
Yeah, I was just trying to get off of that to maintain as much momentum as I could.
Yeah. I didn't catch the incident that took you out of this race. What happened?
I put it in the wall. It was already a frustrating race, and it wasn't my night, and I got a little loose out of 4, and I just went ahead and gassed it and put it in the wall and then parked it.
Now, Homestead's definitely one of the tricky tracks. One of the trickiest tracks that we have on our schedule this season.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of practice time, and I just couldn't find any speed, and I wasn't gaining, and like, you know what? It's been a long night. It's enough. But it's a lot of fun watching this battle here, Colton looking underneath.
Yeah, but I definitely think the window has passed for Colton to try and chase the win of this race. But now he definitely needs to get past the 8 of Brian McKinney if he wants to have a shot for the win of the championship next at Phoenix. But it looks like he's got a good run now to come down the backstretch. Colton's gonna
It's be fun if he can stick it.
He's going to dive low, and Brian McKinney is actually going to get into the wall just a tad bit. That's going to allow Colton to get, as they both get a little tad bit loose, but Colton's going to have the position as they cross the line. Brian McKinney now looking to the inside. And Colton's able to get past him. And pretty comfortably. Now, how much of this gap can Colton Gardner close down to Tyler Vickery, which is almost 7 seconds, or about 6.5 seconds? Not sure what kind of G Fuel Tyler Vickery took in the middle during the pit stop, but something.
Oh, he had a great pit stop too. Came in what, P3 and came out first?
Yeah. He had a really good pit stop. And actually, Colton Gardner had the kind of bit the bullet on pit road. He entered P1 and left P3. Definitely interesting. But the gap to Colton is shrinking. Colton is the fastest car on track right now, but I think it might be just a little too late. With only 12 laps to go here.
Yeah, Colton's going to need to be about a half-second a lap faster. I don't have the telemetry, but as long as Tyler keeps it clean, it should just run out of time.
As Colton crosses the line, as Tyler crosses the line, Tyler just ran a 35.59, and Colton Garner just ran a 35.47. So he is about a tenth quicker. But with only 11 laps to go, it needs to be about 4 to 5 tenths, and not just 1/10 each lap. And actually, that last time by, Brian McKinney was faster than both of our leaders, running a 35.46.
You know, I'm watching Tyler as he makes his laps here. Looks like he's maybe moved a quarter lane down. Got a little high there, but maybe trying to give a little bit more room to that wall.
All Tyler Vickery needs to do is just not make a mistake in these final handful of laps, and he pretty much has this one cinched down.
Yeah, still holding on there, about a 6-second lead.
At that time by, Tyler Vickery ran a 35.3, and Colton Garner ran a 35.5. So the tables have kind of flipped, and that gap is growing once again. So, Eric, as this race is starting to wind down and as our season is starting to wind down, do we have any plans for season 8 of Wednesday Night Dash?
Yeah, we're going to be sticking with the 10 race schedule that we changed over to for the ARCA season. And I think as of right now, things are tentative and subject to change, but I want to say we're looking at the next gens to kick off the season.
Cool. That's definitely going to be fun again. I know iRacing is putting kind of a lot of work into strengthening the next gen car. I know they just did something with the tires to make the tires more realistic. So hopefully that'll bring the next gen car up to the racing level as these ARCA cars in our league.
Yeah, last time around is a pretty fun season, and hopefully here through the off season we can find a few more drivers and round out this field and really have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is one thing I do appreciate about this league, though, is we have a good core drivers. It's like about maybe 10, let's say 10 or 12 drivers that are pretty much that show up pretty much every week, whether or not they rotate in or out. And like some of these drivers, I remember when I joined the league back in the end of season 3, and um, a couple other names joined around that time, and we've had a pretty strong core for a while.
And it's really helped the racing that we put together out here. We know how each other races, and we keep it pretty clean and respectful.
Oh, I apologize. Tyler Vickery gets the win. My scoring card was a bit wrong. It was about 1 lap behind. I thought Tyler Vickery was coming to the white flag this time, but actually, that was the checkered flag lap. So Tyler Vickery is your winner tonight. Really dominant run in that second half. Did what he had to do to solidify him as the points leader going into next week. The final race of the season at Phoenix. We'll give you just one moment and then we'll get some interviews started.
Yeah, definitely a solid race put together there by Tyler in that 24 car.
Let's see if Bolton will join up here. There he is. Okay. Colton Garner, you bring it home P2 today, but I have a feeling that's not the result you were looking for. I could see you led almost every lap in the first stage, and I don't know if there was an issue or something in the second half, but tell me about your race.
First half, it was a lot of fun being out there and racing everybody like we were and everything. But the car, it had good balance in the first half. If you could stay out in front, you were golden in clean air. But all the passing and everything was so much fun first off, but in the second half, I couldn't get past Brian, and he did a really good job holding me off there most of that run, and Tyler got away each time I tried to go and pass him, past Brian and everything. But yeah, the car, it's loose 1 second, tight the next. It's really hard at this track. There's no grip at all.
Yeah, it's definitely fun watching you guys race out there today. At some point in the first half, you guys had about four cars running like within a second of each other. Honestly, within a half second of each other. They kind of calmed down in the second half there. But yeah, did you have some sort of issue on pit road? I noticed that you entered pit road P1 and you left P3.
spun the tires on
Oh,
my
I see.
exit. Um, it's just even pit road ain't got grip, so the tires spun, and I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, but it's okay though. You still got P2, which isn't nothing to be ashamed of. But going into next week at Phoenix, you're going to be at a bit of a points hole to Tyler Vickery. Tell us what you can do to prepare for Phoenix next week.
Really, just try my best and prepare to go out there and win it. Um, I've had pretty good luck at Phoenix in the past. I've won 2 out of 3 races I've been in a Wednesday night dash there, so I mean I have that, but um, I feel like it's going to be different this time. Uh, just because the car is so much different, but it's going to be fun to see what happens next week. I'm really happy we got a really good battle going here for the points. And hopefully next week we can pull it off.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's all I have for you tonight. And you have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. You do the same, and great racing to everybody out there tonight. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. All right, and our winner tonight is Mr. Tyler Vickery. Tyler, you had a bit of a questionable but solid first run, and you had a really good pit stop, and you dominated the field in the second run. Tell me about your night tonight.
I let's just say I had a ton of frustrations on the start, just because I thought I could try to just save some tires like how we do at other tracks and just be patient and have a good battle with Colton, and then also having to remind myself of dealing with Dalton Wicker. I mean, because he's always quick and he can be a real big difference maker. Um, I feel bad for whatever happened to him. I wonder if something disconnected, because he, after coming off of 4, all of a sudden he just went straight left. So, and he left the session. So I don't know what all happened there, but hopefully everything was all right with that. And but I tried to be patient, was trying to see if I can make any pass on the low groove, and just it's like as soon as you try to make any kind of pass on the low groove, it's like good luck trying to make any kind of run. So it was just, yeah, I figured if I can get a good stop, then as soon as for the restart of the second half, just go as flat out as I can, run quality laps, just be patient with the line I run on that high line, and just hope I can pull away. And as soon as I did, just I knew if I try to let off any and make any little mistakes, it's gonna cost me. So it was like I just had to be really cautious with pushing it those last little 15 to 20 laps, because it was tires were definitely going away.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Dalton did have what looked like a wheel disconnect. I went back and looked at it, and it did the classic iRacing thing of where the driver's arms just snapped to the left, and then there was really nothing that he could do. But yeah, you said you had almost a 7 second gap by the end of this race. It closed down a bit. Colton was definitely starting to make up some time on you, but yeah, I was kind of shocked by the gap that you were able to put on the field, considering the fact that the first half, nobody could really get away from each other. It was you, Colton, Brian, and Dalton when he was still here. You guys were all within 5/10 of each other or a second of each other. So I was expecting that kind of racing in the second half, but you definitely just put your head down and managed to pull a 6.5 second gap.
Yeah, I couldn't. I When I looked at the gap and saw with Brian being ahead of Colton, I was, and knowing how Brian is, he's more of he's good at running consistent laps all the time. So seeing that I was pulling away as far as I was, I that was something I was very shocked and surprised about. So it was just kind of a mind blowing, especially at the end, finishing by over 7 seconds, which I never would have. I was not expecting that at all, and yeah, I just feel like that kind of strategy of like trying to figure out how it would be playing safe and seeing that happen, and just figured I'd go back to my old ways and just go as flat as I can and hope that I save enough tires, and kind of glad I did, because man, championship points is going to be interesting going into Phoenix, and that's what worries me a little bit is at least now having that cushion, I can give myself a little bit of leeway, but at the same time, I can't really give myself too much leeway.
Yeah, and that's definitely something I was gonna talk to you about next. Is you getting the win tonight is gonna boost your points lead by a good margin. So it's definitely gonna be a really fun battle going into next week. So how are you gonna prepare? What's your mindset gonna be? And how are you gonna get mentally and physically prepared for next week's finale?
Just it's I'm trying not to do like what happened with our real life track lately. Had some incidents happen. Um Especially with this, I'm just looking in the mindset, if I can just beat Colton and stay ahead of him, I know I'm going to be winning it. And granted, if Colton manages to win, I know I have to be within a certain points gap, which I think I was trying to look at it quick, because I believe I still have an extra point that needs to go for leading a lap. So I was already calculating it was going to be a 17-point difference. So I just have to. One of my things is, if I can at least, going into next week, I already have the set of mindset of try to get the at least, if I can qualify, that'll help, and get a pole time, that'll be good. If not, at least try to lead a lap. I might do something wacky in pit road for pit stops at the halfway point just to get that point, but I'm gonna have to probably mess around in some test sessions to figure out whether it's gonna be doable or not, because risk versus reward, plus figuring out how many cars are going to show up. So that's going to be the big question there.
All right. Well, that is all I have for you tonight, Mr. Tyler Vickery. And you go and enjoy the rest of your night.
Definitely got to give a shout out. Like always, I didn't have a chance last time. I know Joe Rosino, one of our Bomber A drivers. He likes to watch the races, whether they're live or post race. Um, Shout out to them. Same with New Smyrna Speedway. Hoping by Governor's Cup, which is our big end of the year race. Hopefully I can get an opportunity here to run one more race this season, and then focus on having an opportunity to race real life again, in the same class. But hopefully I'll have a full race car, fully owned by then, for World Series of Asphalt. So that'll be fun to race on, and be broadcasted on Flow Racing. So looking forward to that. But shout out to Frank Button, Holly, for letting me be able to put the New Smyrna logos on, and everyone else from the Bombery division.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's going to do it here for me tonight. Make sure you come back next week, same time, same place, at Phoenix Raceway, to finally close out the season. This season was definitely really fun, and we're going to have a really close points battle going into it, so you definitely do not want to miss it. My name is Hunter Hughes, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.